So it looks like the new Marvel Legends Engine of Vengeance Haslab is going to include Robbie Reyes' head after all, but is this good enough, Soulmates, and is it worth your money? Be sure you stick around till the end, Soulmates, because we're going to talk about what we want to see from this Haslab next. If you support what I do, please click subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single video of mine when it comes out. So in case anyone wasn't paying attention recently, the early bird special offering for the Haslab failed, and what was that early bird special offering? It was Robbie Reyes in his human form, a completely separate action figure from what we were getting in the base Haslab package. Although it is worth noting that for the most part that action figure was just a repaint of the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider that was already included in there, except that he had new boot pieces as well as a new head sculpt. And the early bird special offering on this project was a little bit of a strange one, because how this one worked was that the project had to be fully funded by a set date or else no one got the early bird special, which isn't really how early bird specials are supposed to work. And since the project was nearly 3,000 backers short, obviously this one did not fund and the early bird special would not be included. The most obvious oversight of taking away this Robbie Reyes action figure from everyone is that this project takes place during Hispanic Heritage Month, and well, taking away the human form of Robbie Reyes is kind of a bad look here. And in the wake of the early bird special failing, guys, a couple of days after it did fail, we saw something interesting. McFarlane Toys dropped a DC Multiverse Batmobeast, and this is a $50 package that includes a Batmobeast without its shell and a Batman that comes with an accessory. And mind you, this is 7-inch scale. And by the way, this vehicle is not short on details at all. It's got quite a bit of sculpting on it at a $30 price point, so it does raise some questions with the Haslab about its price point. Granted, the Batmobeast does not have all the features that the Haslab Engine of Vengeance does, but is the Engine of Vengeance so good that it warrants a $350 price tag as opposed to $30? I think that people are looking at the two of these and realizing that that's a little bit of a tough pill to swallow. And what else is a tough pill to swallow is this Robbie Reyes head and hoodie that's now included with the Engine of Vengeance base package, which probably should have been there all along, but I guess maybe it's better late than never. It's still not what it should be. Honestly, if it had been me, I think that they should just own up to their mistake about the early bird special offering and just backpedal it and say, you know what, we made a mistake here. The early bird special offering, it shouldn't have been done like that. We're going to give it to everyone who backed the project initially, and well, that would make more sense and it would build a lot towards some goodwill. But instead, they just decided to take away the action figure entirely, and now we get a Robbie Reyes head on this Ghost Rider action figure that doesn't make it look anything like how Robbie actually looks in the comic books, because, well, Robbie wears gray pants, and there's really no getting around that. A hoodie and a head doesn't really fix that. And I think a lot of people feel the same way, because the numbers don't really seem like they're creeping up at all. It seems like the numbers are still kind of decreasing, and it still hasn't really hemorrhaged, but it's definitely leaking backers. Curiously, when you go to the Haslab page, all mention of the early bird special offering has been removed now, and any of the pictures that we saw with Robbie Reyes in his human form have been removed too, so it's pretty evident that they want to erase that little factoid from people's minds, and it doesn't really seem that Hasbro is all that interested in owning up to making a mistake on this one with the early bird special offering. I'm not really surprised that it ended up like this, because I kind of figured they would stick to their guns and not include Robbie Reyes in his human form with the project now. But you know how it is. I had that thought in the back of my head where I was just thinking to myself, maybe they'll do it. Maybe they'll include it after all. But, well, we all know how that went, and as usual, my gut reaction was correct. Something curious about the inclusion of this Robbie Reyes head is that when you look on the digital render that they provided, it looks like the action figure has a flesh neck, and I really don't see how that's possible because they don't have interchangeable necks on Marvel Legends, and the Ghost Rider action figure, well, obviously his neck is covered up by all the leather that he's wearing and stuff. So in reality, what we're gonna get here is just gonna be a Robbie Reyes head that's going on that Ghost Rider body, and the neck will be going all the way up to the base of the head. It looks like what happened here is that someone just did a rushed Photoshop job, and they didn't spend a lot of time on it and didn't really think it through and just got it out there as quickly as they could to hopefully get some more people backing this one. And has it worked? Well, sort of, but not really. For a few days, the project was really losing backers, and then as soon as they showed the Robbie Reyes head, it seems like all that loss kind of slowed down a little bit, and some people were backing it, but then again, some people were also still backing out. I guess the point here is that the Robbie Reyes head just isn't all that tantalizing. It's just one of those things that's nice to have and really should have been there from the very beginning. And, well, the Robbie Reyes early bird special action figure, that should have just been there from the beginning, and as we've all said, a lot of us, Mephisto should have been the early bird special. And talking about the quality of the Mephisto action figure, well, that's an entirely different can of worms, but I think it's kind of safe to say at this point that it's another one that doesn't really seem to be inspiring people to go after this Haslab, which is kind of a surprise because I thought that if anything was going to get people to back this one, it would have been Mephisto, but maybe this just isn't the Mephisto that everyone is looking for. In a nutshell, I think that including Robbie Reyes' head is better overall than not including it at all. It was obviously not a good look that they were going to drop Robbie Reyes in his human form altogether from the project during Hispanic Heritage Month, but also, you know, losing, what, like 700 backers or something over the course of a few days? Yeah, that might have been a little bit disconcerting, and obviously they felt like they had to do something here. Was it the right thing? Personally, I don't think so, but ultimately, we'll see whether the backers feel that way or not. Does the inclusion of the head and this hoodie accessory make this one worth the price of admission? Well, soulmates, I guess you have to decide for yourself like I always tell you, but I don't really feel like it does because, you know, the project isn't that much different from what we were already getting, and now they're kind of just shoehorning in Robbie Reyes with his hoodie and hoping that it makes the fans happy. And while it's better than Robbie Reyes in his human form just getting completely erased from the project entirely, it's not really that great of a compromise. They really needed to admit they made a mistake with the early bird special and just include it for all the early backers, and then everything would have been fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with admitting you made a mistake. We're all human here, it happens. But instead, this is what it is, and I don't know if it's enough to fix things. Am I gonna get this one, soulmates? Well, probably not, but never say never. If you'd like to see a review of this one, be sure you let me know down in the comments, guys, and share this video with your friends, and we'll see what happens. Well, soulmates, now that we've seen this Robbie Reyes head and sweatshirt included with the base project, what else do we want to see? Well, I would like to see the entire action figure of Robbie Reyes' human form included with the project for the early bird backers, but aside from that, I kinda would like to see Zarathos. A lot of people have been bringing him up, and he is a pretty cool character, and I would not mind seeing him in this Haslab at all. Of course, recently we just saw that the first tier of this project is the Goblin Queen, so it doesn't look like this project is really all about Ghost Rider, it's just a mishmash of stuff, and I don't know what to say about that, but I don't know if that's the right call, especially if you're campaigning on this being Ghost Rider's 50th anniversary. Well, Soulmates, what do you think of this Robbie Reyes head and sweatshirt included with the project now? Does this inspire you to go ahead and back this one? Have you already backed it, or are you still on the fence? I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I would love to hear from you, and be sure you let me know what character you want to see in this project next. If you want to learn more about the failure of the early bird special, you can check out that video here, Soulmates.